Hey there, this is Dustin Maher from the Transformation Center, and I am in my pantry now. And Tessa's in my pantry, it's not just mine. And in previous videos, we've shared with you what our refrigerator looks like, what our freezer looks like, and now what our pantry looks like. And again, it's not 100% perfect, but if you can make it about 90% perfect, you don't have to use that willpower to eat healthy. And if your spouse is not on the same page with you, or your family, or whoever you live with, if you live with anybody, it's definitely tougher. So you got to figure that out on your own. I'm not here to figure that out for you. So I just want to kind of go through what we have. So up here, these are kind of my customized triathlon blends for when I do my races. This is my Fit Moms for Life hydrolyzed collagen. We use this 1 to 2 times a day. And then we have whole wheat flour if we're going to use it for baking. I don't do this, but Tessa certainly uses it once in a while. And then the second shelf here, we just have a lot of raw nuts. So we have sliced almonds, walnuts, cashews. We have a few peanuts. We have unsweetened coconut flakes, almonds, and we have a few raisins. We don't use the raisins too much, but if we are training a lot, burning a lot of calories, or we want to sweeten something up, we'll use a few of these, but I do not recommend this for weight loss purposes. It's very high in sugar, and eat grapes rather than this. Okay, then we have sunflower seeds, pumpkin seeds, mixed amount of seeds. We got tons of stuff there. This is organic cane sugar in here. Don't use it too often, but we got a little bit left, looks like. And don't do too much oatmeal, but we have rolled oats here for oatmeal, and sometimes we'll do a homemade muesli. Again, higher carb, but if we're training 10 to 15, 20 hours a week in peak season for our triathlons, we definitely increase our carb intake. So that's something that we do. Okay, going down to the next level here, we've got just tons of spices. I'm not going to pull them out, but pretty much every spice imaginable. We've got a few onions. We've got some canned apples. These are homemade apples, and this is probably for apple pie. And we'll save this for a special occasion. And we have natural, unsweetened applesauce right here. Forgot to mention, we've got pure maple syrup. So this is a local pure maple syrup. Again, this is a nice one to use for a little bit of a sweetener. If you have plain Greek yogurt, for example, this can make it a little bit more exciting, and you can really control how much you put in. We have raw local honey here that we have too. So not too much of this, but we use it a little bit. And then we've got some coconut milk, so good fats here. It's pretty high calories, but again, it's not all about calories, it's about the quality of the food. And then I just have some canned, pineapple and a few other canned fruits. Make sure that it's in water and there's no extra sugar added to this. It's not in like a corn syrup or some sort of sweet syrup if you are getting canned fruits. And then we've got sardines here. It's a good fatty fish. It's pretty cheap. So this is a good one to eat once in a while right here. And then this is, we usually get the canned tuna, but this is just the pouch kind that can be easier to travel with if you don't want to bring a can opener. It's a little less messy if you're trying to eat this at your desk. But 1 to 2 times a week of something like tuna or other fatty fish can be really good for you. All right, then moving down to the next level, we have just a lot of different types of beans, black beans, pinto beans, refried beans. We got some more peaches, tomatoes. Nothing too crazy here. We've got, these are actually pretty good. If you want a special treat, they're power packed buttermilk flapjack pancakes, and there's 14 grams of protein with each one of these, and then we'll throw sometimes a scoop of our collagen in there to increase it to about 24 grams of protein. So this is kind of a special treat we have maybe once a week. They're quite healthy. They're just high in carbs. I've got some rice cakes here. They're wild rice, organic ones. They're not really healthy. They're not really that bad for you. We just have them around, and sometimes we'll eat 1 or 2 here or there. I wouldn't say this is the best choice. We have some Wasa multigrain crackers. Again, once in a while we'll have these with maybe a little bit of cheese, but it's not something that we eat too much. But if you are gonna go for a cracker type thing, this is a pretty good choice. You can read every single thing on the food label, so that's a positive. We've got some avocado oil, ranch dressing, which we've already talked about in the previous episode with the dressings, but this is a one that's got some good oils in it. And then we have some other carbs. We have brown rice, premium grade rice right here. We got some little potatoes, flaxseed, some other beans. And then moving down to the last major one, this is where things don't go perfect, okay? So we first have these tostada shells. So I love tostadas. It was something we grew up with. It was this with refried beans, some tomatoes, a little bit of cheese under the broiler. And so I have great fond memories. I'm very emotionally attached to them, and they taste amazing. So probably once a week or maybe once every 10 days we'll have these. And also I'll use these sometimes. I love chips. That's like probably my biggest downfall. And if we had a bag of chips here, I would eat the whole thing. But I find that if I'm craving chips once in a while, I'll just take a couple of these Tostada shells and break them up and put a little bit of hot sauce on them. And that satisfies me enough. So I don't eat the whole bag of chips. So that serves two purposes. And then we have these crackers, which we took out of the box. I forget what they're called. They really don't taste very good. They're kind of like, I don't know. They're not very tasty. So again, I'm not tempted to really overeat these things. We might have them for a snack. With, again, a little bit of cheese maybe, but not something we really buy or eat on a regular basis. Okay, so this is Nesquik chocolate milk mix. Once in a while, I like hot chocolate. It's something that I was drinking a lot of a couple years ago, and I probably would not have had this here, but now chocolate milk is something I don't drink on a very regular basis, and I don't find keeping it here is a temptation for me. So this is definitely not probably the healthiest one you could find out there, probably a dark chocolate, but we've got it in here. I'm showing everything. We've got a bunch of teas in here, got some more natural peanut butter. The oil's on the top, that's what it should be. If you are getting the natural kind, it just contains peanuts and salt. And that's pretty much it. Down here we have Clairvoyant, so sparkling water. Tessa loves it. She's got me turned on to it a little bit, so we'll have maybe one of those a day. Bunch of water bottles. And then moving up here, last thing is oils. Okay, so a lot of people think fat makes you fat, but I think hopefully even the media now is starting to talk differently. Doctors are finally starting to talk differently, that fat does not necessarily make you fat. Eating fat does not necessarily increase your cholesterol, but getting the right kind of fats is important. So in the refrigerator episode, I shared with you the butter we have. Butter's a great natural source. Great grandma knew what that was. She used it. So here's avocado oil. We use this a little bit. It's not one we use tons, but it burns at a pretty high temperature, so it's pretty stable. But we're a bigger fan of the coconut oil. That's the organic one. And just a little quick story. So my mom, many of you knew her before she passed away. She was obsessed with coconut oil. And when she passed away, we found underneath my bed, actually, my bed that was still there after I moved out 10 years ago, stash of about 6 or 7 of these. She must have found a good deal. And so this will last us, this is probably our second or third we've gone through. A couple more years, my mom's memory will live on through that. And then we've got olive oil. This is not the best one. It should be in a darker container because the light makes it not as good. And then we don't use these too often, but if you're just quickly needing to spray a pan, it's coconut oil spray and an olive oil spray. But generally, we would use olive oil, or if we're cooking with it, more of a coconut oil. It's going to be stable. It's not going to burn very easily. So there you have it. That's pretty much it. All 3 of those videos have shown what we eat on a regular basis. Once in a while, some ice cream might get thrown in there, and there might be a few other things, but this is what we eat about 90% of the time, and it allows us then, when we go out to eat or we go to parties, to not have to eat perfect, because we're only doing that maybe once a week at max, and we're eating pretty clean while we're here. So I hope that helped you, gives you some ideas of what to do, what maybe to take away from your pantries, from your refrigerator or your freezer, and really to live a healthy life. It really starts here in the kitchen and also at the grocery store. So comment below if you have any questions, suggestions, ideas. We'd love to hear them, and have a great day.